Hello, I'm Layne Hartsell with the Korea Industry and Technology Times. I'm here with Dr. Jompon Pitaksantayothin of Thailand, who is at Hankuk University in Seoul. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having me here today.
The gender equality and social inequalities related to technology is an area that you cover. You wrote an important paper in a book along with Suraj Hongla at Chulalongkorn about AI and feminism, particularly how AI will affect women's needs and interest in being heard. So that's a freedom of expression. And you quote the UN, you quote the US Constitution, and so on. So I want to ask you about, first of all, how did you get involved, particularly with AI and technology and so forth? Because it's a big issue today.
Actually, I have had interested in the issues of digital technologies since I was a PhD student at Leeds University in the UK. But at that time, I focused on the freedom of expressions on the internet. But later on, when the other types of digital technologies were introduced to our society. So I think I wanted to expand my knowledge to not just only focus on the digital technologies that used for the communications, but also in other aspects as well. Because at the end of the day, uh, it doesn't matter what type of digital technologies that people use or have. So if all of them will integrate to each other as a result. So at that point, I think that just focusing on the communications, digital technologies for communications would not be enough. So I have a look at the AI because uh, actually artificial intelligence issues has been around for decades. However, uh, just in the past few years, they just gain more attentions from the public and international communities, and now it has become just like a. Actually, I can say it is just like an integral part of our everyday life, not much different from the internet. So that's why I think uh, it is very interesting to look at it from basically from legal perspective because my educational background is legal studies. However, if you I just look at it from legal perspective, I will not be able to get an answer. How should it be regulated? Why should it be regulated? So that's the result. That's the reasons why I moved to look at something which beneath or behind the attempts to regulate it. So it must be something about sociology, about something about cultural things, and also philosophical stuff as well.
Great. Yeah, just for people listening, AI has been around for a while. For example, in airplanes, in modern aircraft, commercial and so forth. I was taking a flight out of Nagoya about 20 years ago in Japan, and we got about halfway down the runway. It's a, jumbo jet, so big plane. About halfway down the runway, and the plane stopped or slowed down. We went around. The pilot says, "Oh, the AI had reset the computer, so it had to reboot and start over." I thought,
Mm.
my God, this stuff is not good. Uh, when we're talking about equality, why would we want a feminist view on technology? So you gave the idea of technology, you said, and then you talked about the legal. The legal system has to mold technology such that it's fair. Is this what you mean?
Or with regard to feminist theory or feminist perspective, for me, uh, everything everything that we are talking or we discussing nowadays is related to feminism to a certain extent in one way or the other. It is also the case for technology, not just only AI and other digital technologies. Uh, but when we look at this issue, we will find that okay, at the beginning, people are were quite excited about the introduction or the advent of AI technologies. But once the big companies use the AI technologies for some reasons, people start to feel that, okay, what we are facing now is not just about it is not just about the bright side of the AI. AI also brings some kind of negative consequences, especially it's makes things that it, how can I say, it makes people who have some kind of perspective, certain perspective towards women, uh, to feel that what are we going to see, what are we going to do, what are we going to think, not just like exactly what we have in our mind. As a result, it is because of the AI filtering system and AI censorship. Actually, it is not censorship, but I can call. I think I can call it censorship. So as a result, this kind of things create some what's called echo chamber, and that because of that echo chamber, for some people, some internet users, it eliminate the chances or reduce the chances of people who promotes or advocates women's right to talk to spread their agendas to other people, to the public. As a result, from this point on, I think that okay, AI doesn't just only make people life easier, it also creates some obstructions for people who wants to promote, who want to talk about issues, especially from feminist perspectives, and let the people in a different part of the world know. So that's what I want to say. That it's a kind of technological, some kind of technological discrimination and unfair treatment.
Okay, so you have bias built into AI, and then you're saying then out of this comes an echo chamber. Can you explain this process more so people can understand?
For bias, actually, I have to say that AI is normally uh, uh, trained by set of data, and it means that it is not smart by itself. It depends very much on the sets of data that is used to train them, right? What if the data that I mean, there's many ways to collect data, and if the data which is collected is can have a certain level of bias against particular groups, in this context against women, just like for this type of, for example, for the work in the factories, if we just collect the data which indicate that male workers work better than women, when we use this set of data to train AI, when we as a result, when we use AI, the AI will say that okay, we should not hire or employ women workers. So we should only focus or recruit only men workers instead. So this is a part that AI, the data which is used to train AI has some kind of bias, some level of bias. And again, something like this can create some kind of echo chamber as well, because when you use this kind of data, for example, or data which promotes male supremacy or patriarchy ideology, something like this, when it is used to train AI, the AI system, especially the AI which is used to filter out irrelevant information. So as a result, these bias set of AI will filter out opinions or expressions or any viewpoints of those who promote women rights and so on. As a result, the person who just, for example, a person who has kind of bias against women or feminist view, when they read and see information on the internet, they will be just fed with this kind of bias information against the women, and they just feel that what I think is correct. Look, everything that I look from the internet is just simply supports my ideas.
So this is even beyond in the past. So say, for example, in the past with something like QAnon, you get these people in echo chambers and you start getting, these introduction of real bizarre kind of possibilities or plausibilities. And then people run with it as if it's real without any corroborating evidence. But what we're seeing now is that, and from what I'm hearing with you, the AI is creating its own kind of echo chamber and people just fall into it rather. I mean, it's like the AI in the background is actually doing it, not like QAnon where people were actually.
Uh, I I cannot say that the AI creates echo chamber by itself, but it's just like support people or push people to be in their own echo chambers.
Mhm, mhm.
In
Right.
that way rather than create the echo chamber itself.
Okay. Yeah, I get the idea. Um, so if you have an AI that's, say, for example, biased against women, or it could be biased against anybody, maybe, um, I don't know, in my country, maybe black people or Hispanic people or something. In your opinion, for like legally, how do you deal with this through democratic process you talk about in your paper, law, government, and so forth? Where, I mean, do we even have a legal structure that can deal with this? I guess I should say.
Hmm. Oh, actually, this is a very difficult question to give you a fast and hard answer. But anyway, just like other types of technologies, at one point, governments and regulators have to come with certain types of regulations or law or something like that. Something like this, as I just mentioned earlier, uh, AIs can be biased against certain group of people, especially in this concept against women, because of the data sets that were used to train the AI
Mhm.
and the structure. I mean, the structure architectures of the data technologies as well. So at the moment, I think that the things that the regulators and the governments can do is just uh, should come and have a look, and maybe can make the regulation. Roughly speaking, they can make the regulations to require the AI technologies developer to take into account human rights, and also try to limit or try to limit the bias, the discrimination that may occur during the data collection or
Mhm.
during the AI training. So I think these kind of things, although they are somewhat technical, they can it everything is possible. They can do it. They can try to develop some kind of uh, technical measures to deal with this kind of stuff. However, the important point is the governments and regulators have to give importance and start to give the attention to the developing of fair AI. Yeah,
Is that even possible, though? It seems so. AI is so powerful.
it is possible. I think it is
I
possible.
think
At
so.
least if you cannot eliminate bias or discriminations in AI, at least you should commit the regulation to make it as non-biased or as non-discriminate as much as possible.
Right. So a priori we can't get it, but posteriori we can get it with the law. So you're saying that
Mm.
we try to keep bias out of the development of the code, but the data sets are going to have some bias, and then you're saying we correct that with policy. And with what happens when companies push back, right? Because they're going to want to, as I understand it, the model is to mine data. So data is, it was said at one point that data is the new oil. So the companies are going to want to mine data to get that. But if we limit that, then there's going to be a yeah. Can you talk about this particular kind of dilemma for regulation? Because it looks like social media got pretty much out of hand in the last decade.
Mm.
So what can AI do here? In fact, in my opinion, I don't think it should be connected to the internet, but it's already there, obviously. So we're here now. We have this particular set of conditions. What do you think more? Can you say more about this situation?
Oh, actually, there are some proposals that maybe we need some kind of third party checker to check whether this set of AI or the mining of the data that comes from the data mining are prone or likely to be biased or discriminate.
Mhm.
However, something like this, if we don't have I don't want to say that we need a strong regulations against AI developers. We need some kind of organization or some kind of department which come and work together with the companies, and at least they may offer something like, if you, for example, if you participate in our uh, check and balance scheme, you will get
Mhm.
some kind of benefits, something like
Mhm.
this, and to persuade them to participate in. And as a result, the data that they will get, the data that they will use to train AI, will be at least keep the bias and discrimination at the minimum level.
So you're saying incentivize participation of the companies and have multi-stakeholder. So basically, like women's groups would be involved with this, the company would be involved, the regulators, and so forth. Is
Yeah.
there any? Are, okay, finish
So
that
it
thought, and I
is.
have another question to follow.
Yeah. I think they can apply the model of governance when we have a lot of stakeholders, and they should come together and try to develop the model for the AI regulators or something like this later on. So it should not be in the hands of the governments or regulator or law enforcement. Everybody, the AI developers, what is it called, civil societies, human rights advocates, and so on, should come and try to develop I think, the proper model for to at least to keep the bias and discrimination against women at the minimum as much as possible.
Or do you have any examples where this has actually happened, where civil society, the groups, stakeholders, and so forth did come together to regulate technology? I mean, I know that for example, in Iceland, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, they wrote a constitution, open constitution. It actually didn't pass the parliament, but it actually worked. The actual process worked. I mean, do you have any examples of open source stakeholder regulations or something like that? How would you how would you call it?
At the moment, I don't have any concrete or tangible examples for it. It's just like it is more than like an idea that I can propose, rather than, because as you know, that AI technologies are in the hands of big IT companies, right? And those big companies don't want to lose their benefits and profits. So it is understandable that they want to keep other stakeholders out of the business. However, something like this, we need somebody to be the an organizer, the host of the event. So in this case, the government should come and try to do something to arrange things for these stakeholders to talk and develop the regulations of AI technologies.
It sounds like something for UNESCO, right?
Something like that, but it does. I mean, actually, the industries, the IT industry themselves can initiate such thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, without law, without some kind of legal regulations, they don't want to do anything. They want
Mhm.
it to be as it is, the kind of status quo that we have nowadays.
If you just leave it as a free market, then what can happen to women? What are some of the uh, difficulties that they would have in this case, like in the case of feminism? Like if you just leave it open, like a free market, and no involvement of civil society or whatever.
Uh, so actually, the things that to a certain extent, their voice, I mean, in the context of AI filtering system, create what is it called? Curator system, which arrange the priorities of the information on search engine or so on. Or it has already happened when just like when people just focus on one perspective towards women, you will just find that kind of things again and again, again and again.
It repeats
So
like a. But does the AI pick this thing up and then like focuses even more so?
yeah, because I think they try to because the algorithm behind this, they know that you are interested only in this particular issue, right? So they
Right.
just keep feeding you with that perspective and just try to, and they see that other what is it called? Disagreements, opinions, or opinions other than these are irrelevant to you. So they just
I
filter
see.
out. So as a result, how can I say? I just give you an example like this. So when we talk about the right to abortion, actually the abortion is already illegal in Thailand. Uh, if we talk about it, the religious perspective or conservative perspective towards abortion is negative, right? And if the person like me who actually I'm not certain about this issue yet, when I just think to search abortion, I put in the search engine box, abortion is illegal, it's bad. So the algorithm behind it, we just feed or even post it on my social media account. It will keep feeding me with that abortion is bad, bad, bad. But as a result,
Mhm.
I will never heard about abortion. Actually, it is maybe a matter of the rights of women over their bodies, over their lives, and so on. I will never get that kind of that information from that side. As a result,
Mhm.
these kind of things keep making me that what I think is absolutely correct, right, and other people are wrong. This is already happened nowadays.
This reminds me, there was a, I don't know, a young woman somewhere. She was flying in on an airplane into Africa, and Africa's a big place. I don't know where it was, but anyway, flying into a city, and she texted on her Twitter, "I hope I don't get AIDS in Africa," which is a racist statement,
Mm.
and a mistake, certainly a mistake. But this is before AI, but the people on Twitter just totally attacked her, really attacked her horrifically. So normally when you would make a racist statement, and you're in public, you might get chastised by your friends and family, but and that's usually enough, right? But in this case, it was the whole of Twitter like coming down on one person. So what I hear you saying is AI could even pick up on this and go exponentially with that kind of horrific treatment of a person who makes a mistake, who makes a racist statement, which is bad, but not. I mean, we have to put this into perspective. There's a young woman who's on an airplane, probably doesn't have a lot of experience. She makes an offhand statement that's racist, and then she gets attacked by Twitter, and it could be now AI. This is serious, right?
Yeah, so it is also the case. Just imagine because Twitter or X right now. I don't know about the algorithm, the AI mechanism behind it, but some other social media platforms, just like once you just put in or just post some kind of opinions, you will keep getting just
Ah,
only that kind of I don't want to mention a particular platform, but you will get just only that perspective. Those who
I
just
see.
uh, agree with you or have the opinions in line with what you have in your mind.
I see. I see. So it's
Yeah.
basically like it. exponential social media, right? It just
Yeah, yeah.
exponential. Okay.
But I'm not saying it is 100% like that. But what I want to say is it's more likely for
Mm,
certain platforms to be like that.
I see. Can you give me some ideas about is there hope in this case? Like we talk about the law, we talk about civil society. What other hope is there in democratic process that could deal with this kind of thing? This sounds pretty serious, obviously, right? So a young person posts something offhand, and they get this kind of horrific treatment, and even in some extreme cases, they're committing suicide. So but it even for like one or two suicides, you hear the amount of suffering that people are probably going through that don't kill themselves. Great. I mean, fortunately, gratefully. Uh, I mean, how do we as a society deal with something so powerful that can create all of these things that we've talked about tonight? Right. So, is there some hope here?
I think we always have a hope. More importantly, we have to start from the idea of democracy. The democracy perspective, democratic perspective toward expression is that everybody should be free to express their views, right, as long as such expression is not harmful, right? So it means that we should let uh, whatever expression whether they are okay or not okay to I no, I think expression, all types of expressions that people want to express, to be in the market. And you cannot use the AI technologies or other kind of technologies to prevent or eliminate or restrict the expression that other people want to express, that you're not agree with those people. So let them free, except harmful expression. So once they started to come with the democratic perspective toward expression, so they can move on to call for the relevant bodies or governments or other organizations to join them, that okay, we should keep, if you don't go back
Mm,
to the example of abortion, if you do not agree with abortion, you are allowed to express. And if you are agree with abortion, which is the rights of the woman, you are also allowed to express as well, and let people in the democratic society decide. But you should not use the AI or other technologies to just, okay, I support the prohibition of abortion, so I use the technologies to eliminate or just make the expressions uh, which go against abortions appears to the public. So you have to let those sides, those different opinions available for the public, and let the public, even individual, to make a decision.
great. Thanks a lot. I've been speaking with Dr. Jompon Pitaksantayothin from Thailand, who's a professor at Hankuk University in Seoul. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.